What's going on? We back. Motor City Sports Talk. We in the building. Reacting to the Fox Sports Detroit interview that Kelser did with Dwayne Casey one-on-one sit down. I don't know if you've seen it. If you haven't, I'm gonna put the link in the description. It's not even very lengthy. Very good interview, man. I got much love for Kelser for a long time. You know, even when the Pistons was good, bad, whatever it was, always like to hear his insight and hear him on the mic. You know, it was a good interview, man. It gave you into the insight of a real basketball aficionado asking real basketball questions. Forget these old media guys asking these stupid questions just to make the organization look like a fool. You know, forget that. This was real basketball, man. Him asking real questions. And one of the things I took away from this interview was, you know, Dwayne Casey wants to get up more 3-point shots. He wants to have his team shaped into what the new NBA is now. Like Tom Gore said, he's a modern man. So he wants Blake Griffin, he says, to take at least 5 or 6 threes a game. He says he's been working on his game and expanding to the 3-point line, and the release is looking good. But he says, you know, he wants him to, you know, get in the paint some and get easy buckets and take advantage of his ball handling and rebounding and pushing the ball right up the court. You know, he wants to take advantage and put Blake Griffin in the positions that he think Blake Griffin is going to be successful in. You know, obviously one of the things he said, and I'm going to go back to a little bit of this in a minute, about Andre Drummond. He said, you know, God-given ability, one of the best bodies in the NBA, strong kid. You want to, you know, put him in position, not necessarily on the block, maybe call a play for him, put him in a pick and roll. But he wants, you know, to involve Andre Drummond. It's time for him to mature and become more consistent. And that was one of the major takeaways away from this interview. He says the maturity of Andre Drummond, he's 24, is going to have to kick in now. Because he wants to feature Andre Drummond in his offense. He knows his team goes as Andre Drummond goes. He talked a lot about how good and how infatuated he was with Blake Griffin in the past and not working here. But Andre Drummond, everybody knows, is if the Pistons going to win something, it's going to be because of his development and maturity, his consistency. He said he needs Andre Drummond to be way more consistent than what he's been. And that's true. And Reggie Jackson, he said something interesting. He said, you know, with Reggie Jackson, he like to do the pick and roll, and he think he got a floater. But guess what? He got a 3-point shooter on the wing. And just that part tells me that he going to sit down with Reggie Jackson and go through film and do what Larry Brown did with Chauncey and say, look here, I know you a scorer, but we need you to be more of a point guard and more of a classic point guard. And he said he wants him to take more 3-pointers to expand this game. So he wants to be more of a modern day team, you know, and he knows it starts with Reggie Jackson, man, and really keying it in. But he says that the demeanor, he says that the mentality, he said when things ain't going their way, you know, we can't just pout and put our head down and quit. He ain't say that in particular, but that's what he meant. And you've seen time and time again with the Detroit Pistons when it was a demoralizing run or it was a demoralizing part of the game, and they just give up. And Andre Drummond's face will tell everything. His effort to go down the drain, you know, he'd just quit. You know, he just don't care no more when stuff ain't going the Pistons' way. And he alluded to that, you know. They gonna have to be more mentally tough and believe they can come back and fight through a lot of things. Understand Van Gundy, this team had a lot of give up in it, and Dwayne Casey, he's seen that because, like they alluded to in this interview, Kelser said the Pistons missed the playoffs by 4 games. Toronto beat them 4 games, all last 4 games last year, all of the 4 games. So Dwayne Casey has a very good insight, and he's very prepared for this job. You know, I'm 100% behind the brother. And he knows exactly what he wants to do. He knows exactly what's wrong with this team. And he knows how to develop talent. He spoke on that in the beginning. Develop. And that's why he's here. Because he knows how to develop teams. He developed Kyle Lowry. He got to develop Reggie Jackson and give Drummond some confidence. And he going to have Blake Griffin do what he do. And he spoke on an injury-prone Blake Griffin and Reggie Jackson. And he also said Reggie Jackson, he said standing next to Blake Griffin right there in size, he right there. And they're going to take advantage of that. And I think the one thing that Stan Van Gundy didn't do, let's put my 2 cents in here, he didn't post up Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson got a height and a size advantage over the majority of point guards in this league, you know. But that's the one guy he gonna have to get to out of those 3. If he could develop, if you say, oh, Dwayne Casey only could develop one of these guys, you know, into what they want to be. You know what? Drummond is good right now, and I understand, develop Drummond. But if he can develop Reggie Jackson and make him into a point guard, and the point guard this team needs, that's going to be the most impactful thing out of those three. And obviously, you got to develop Stanley and stuff. He spoke on that, how he developed Sakim from Sakim and Jacoporto and OG Aguaye from Toronto. He know he got to develop Ellison and Luke Kennard, and he got to develop Stanley Johnson. He knows that. He loves Stanley Johnson. Say he loves his size and think him and Blake matches up good with 23 in Cleveland, which is LeBron James. You know, like I said, Stanley does have that tough mentality. You know, that's another guy out of all of them. You want to develop him as well. But Dwayne Casey knows what he want to do with his team, man. And he knows that, you know, what Stan Van Gundy did was the old school way. Stan Van Gundy tried to make square pegs fit in round holes, and you can't do that. You know, Dwayne Casey, he got to be flexible. He got to adjust. He got to instill confidence. He got to trust. He got to develop. And in this interview, he talks about all of that with Greg Kelser and basketball things, not none of those old media crazy questions that nobody even really care about right now. He knows the job is tough. He already have a schematic or / blueprint on how he wants to do and what he wants to envision. And he knows he's going to have to make adjustments on the fly. They talked about a wellness, health, maintenance program for Blake Griffin. And then practicing a little bit less and trying to, get a little bit more innovative and keeping him healthy as well. He knows the challenges with him and Reggie Jackson and health. And like I said, it was a great interview. I linked the interview in the description from Fox Sports Detroit. Y'all go over and catch that interview and subscribe as well. It's the Motor City Sports Talk. Remember, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Those links in the description. And thank you guys for watching. And please subscribe. Hit the like button as well. And hit the bell icon so you know we upload and go live. Probably won't go live today, maybe tomorrow. But also, share the videos and tell somebody. New media, kicking out the old media. We out.